Let's cross now to SABC News political reporter Samkele Maseko, who's reporting from Hammanskraal in Gauteng. And that's where the Action SA leader Herman Mashaba is inspecting service delivery in the area. Samkele, good morning to you. Thanks indeed for your time. So no surprise that if anyone wants to check on service delivery, you'll have to check in Hammanskraal. Hammanskraal has been in the news quite a lot for a number of service delivery challenges. The issue of water certainly does come to mind. Talk to us about what is expected there today.
Indeed, Criselda, Hammanskraal has been in the news for all sorts of wrong reasons in the past, particularly the deaths of those South Africans through the lack of proper water provision, lack of blue-rated water provision, drinkable water in the area of Hammanskraal. We've also had incidents of roads, infrastructure dilapidating, factories closed. But one of the sons of the soil of the area, Mr. Herman Mashaba, the leader of Action SA, is in the area to launch some branches of the party as they prepare for the 2026 local government elections. Mr. Mashaba, just the essence of you being here in Hammanskraal. You grew up in this area. Coming here today, how does it feel to be launching branches of the party? You've been cascaded as a party for not having proper legislated branches.
Well, I think it's a mixed emotions in the sense that, as you've indicated, I was born and raised in these communities, moving from Haramutsi here in Majaneng. We're in Majaneng right now. This is Ward 76, and later on, after here, I'll be going to launch a branch in Ward 79, where my mother's house is. And why it is emotional, as I drive into Hammanskraal on a Saturday, I see roads being constructed, not just patching up of potholes. Actually, roads are being resurfaced. To think that I grew up in this area, at the time when I grew up, this area did not have tar roads. But obviously later on we had tar roads. Ever since 1994, never seen any maintenance of these roads. And when DA took over in 2016, we thought there'll be services. In fact, services completely stopped thereon. So I'm really very pleased to really be back here, establishing branches in communities where I grew up. I got into politics because I strongly believe in social justice. I was born and raised in poverty. That is something very close to me. Poverty is a man-made program, and I think it's going to be stopped by some of us who are today privileged to really get involved. When my friends are today in golf courses enjoying life, look at me, I left my family this morning in Joburg to be here, to be with the community so that we establish strong branches so that one day when we have to go to an elective conference, we go to an elective conference with people who are committed to social justice and they share the same values with us.
When you look at Hammanskraal, it had issues of water provision. There was a period in which the mayor, Nasipi Moya, from the Action SA, alongside your other coalition partners, came to open up the taps, meaning that people were getting drinkable water. How far is that provision now? Are the people of Hammanskraal getting drinkable water from their taps? Well,
not the entire Hammanskraal as yet, and I think Dr. Moya, the executive mayor, is going to be joining us. She's on the way. She can clarify this, but there are certain areas, an area where I was born and raised in Hammanskraal, Marukulung, and an area called Renstown. Those areas already are receiving water. Areas like here, I'm not sure whether they're already getting water or not, because remember when the mayor announced this project, it was going to be in 4 stages and doing it over time. So we'll get actually a briefing. That's one of the things that her mandate is, why I invited her to be here, to come and really tell this community how far is the water project, because these people have been subjected to undrinkable water for almost 20 years. Samkele, I grew up and born in this area, sometimes going to school, surviving on drinking water from the taps. So when I could not manage to gamble, I used to play dice to really be able to go to school. So yes, I think the mayor is going to be joining us in the launches, and I really wanted to herself be able to really tell people of Hammanskraal how far the project of the provision of water is. But as you are aware, what created a problem with the people of Hammanskraal getting undrinkable water was the Rooiwal water treatment plant. In 2019, when the DA awarded this project to a company called whatever consulting, Blackhead, owned by Edwin Sodi. So that's what created a problem. But once we removed Celia Brink from office, the mayor was given instructions by all the coalition partners to give that project a first priority. And from listening to her during the State of the City address, she raised the issue of saying they are ahead of schedule in ensuring that ultimately people of Hammanskraal in Majaneng, Ramutsi, the entire Temba, Stingwater, Suruman, they all get clean drinkable water. So I think, the mayor is going to really be part of this gathering to really be able to really brief the community.
On national politics, Mr. Mashaba, we saw President Cyril Ramaphosa in the Oval Office engaging with President Donald Trump. How did you, as the leader of Action SA, particularly feel about that engagement and the false information that was provided by Donald Trump, the President of America? And how did you feel about the presentation of South African representatives like Mr. Johan Rupert?
For me as a black South African, it really hurts me and hurt me really very deeply. And I think I tweeted something coming here, looking at ever since the president came back, the only real achievement, the first achievement we are now aware of, it's for Starlink to really be here in South Africa. I've got absolutely nothing to do with Starlink, but it's something that you remember. Johan Rupert, who's not a member of cabinet, raised that we need Starlink in South Africa, and within days we see it really happening against our laws. We are prepared to change the country's laws, the transformation laws, to really accommodate this. And as I say, it's not because I'm against Starlink. I'm concerned about the man behind Starlink, someone who deeply hates black people, someone who's the biggest racist on earth, someone who hates South Africa with a passion. That our president and his government, his coalition government, the JNU are the first one to accommodate coming out of that engagement. I think it's a sad moment for us, particularly for us as black people. We've got to watch the ANC very carefully what they're doing with the DA. If their plan is to stop transformation agenda of our country, I can tell you then I would just want the ANC to really know that we are going to make sure, parties like us, we are going to make sure that black South Africans are aware that we are not going to be colonized again by people who we know they hate us and they hate our country.
Looking at this issue of Starlink, I was reading a thread by Phumzile Van Dam, a former member of the Democratic Alliance as well, saying who served in the Digital Communications Subcommittee or Communications Subcommittee in Parliament under the likes of Faith Mutambi and others who were in that portfolio committee, saying that this process is ultimately flawed, and particularly noting that BEE processes of the country are being flouted. What is the action that you are going to take as Action SA to make sure that the broad-based black economic empowerment policies of the country are adhered to and there is no special policy for Starlink?
Well, I think let me first clarify one thing. For us as Action SA, we are against ANC triple BEE. And the reason why we are against ANC triple BEE, Action SA, we are unapologetic. We want to see black empowerment. But we want black empowerment to affect this community here in Majaneng. Look at a public space like this. Who benefited out of, show me anyone from here in Majaneng who benefited out of this broad-based black economic empowerment of the ANC. So we for inclusive economic empowerment at grassroots level. You should not really benefit because you are closer to the ANC structures and connection. But we are concerned about the manner in which 2 days after the president engaging with Donald Trump, getting instructions from Johan Rupert, who's not a cabinet minister, giving instructions to the president to allow Starling to come in, and all of a sudden 2 days later, ANC is actually prepared to allow their own policies to be flouted by the DA. That's where for us as Section SA we've got very, very serious problem. I am going to engage our members of parliament to take this matter up because we are not going to allow racist, we are not going to allow people who hate our country, hate us as black people to manipulate Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mashaba. Just lastly, preparations for 2026 local government elections. Is the ball rolling for Action SA already?
Absolutely. This, for that reason, instead of going to play golf, I'm going to be spending the full day here in this community and others, engaging people on the ground. I need black South Africans to embrace this democratic process, making sure that we get people to register to vote. Because if we can get black people to vote, we will ensure that we don't really have a government that does not listen. And actually, I'm really very proud to really be here in Tshwane because we've now established a coalition government that, without any doubt, I'm proud to have played a role with the ANC and the EFF to put together a government. When we provide services, we don't provide services to any particular group. We provide services to all the communities. And I'm proud for the first time to really see a government committed to public service like the coalition government in the city of Tshwane. It has never happened anywhere in this country where black townships and villages are getting proper services from government.
Thank you very much, Mr. Herman Mashaba. That was Herman Mashaba, the leader of Action SA. I always wonder who's got a better handicap between yourselves and the black South African golfer, Tony Hlati Yengeni. So I always wonder who has a better handicap between the two of you. But more essentially, the Action SA leader saying that they are now getting the ball rolling for the 2026 local government elections. They are here launching branches of the party, ultimately also preparing themselves internally for their own elective national conference one a day.
Certainly one cannot think that it's too early at this particular point. I'm sure in the months to come, Samkele, we will see a number of political parties, of course, strengthening their feet on the ground as we head to next year, of course. Certainly wouldn't deem it to be too early, as Herman Mashaba says. Thank you very much, Samkele, live to us from Hammanskraal.